Galit na galit nga si former President Rodrigo Duterte matapos nga na madamay ito sa umano'y mga kawalang-yan nina General Wilkins at Michael Yang. Ayon kasi sa balita, labas umano ang dating Pangulo sa kung ano man ang mga ginawa nina Yang at Wilkins. Umasa nga daw nagagawa umano ng hakbang si Digong upang mapanagot ang dalawa. Narito panoorin ang video kung paano tila nilaglag ni General Wilkins ang dating Pangulo.
Director Wilkins, are you familiar with this Arlene apartment incident?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So can you expound to us what are the details to this?
Right after, kasi again, balikan natin during the surveillance and casing operation. Yung dalawang...
Yung Arlene apartment lang.
Yes,
Focus
Mr.
on
Chair.
that.
Yung dalawang chemist na sinabi ng USDEA na padating sa Davao City, dumiretso sa Arlene apartment. So talaga nakatutok kami sa Arlene apartment, Mr. Chair. So nung ni-raid namin yung clandestine laboratory sa Dumoy, after the inventory and after everything has settled down, pumunta si Mayor Duterte at ang iba pang mga part ng joint anti-drug operations sa clandestine laboratory, pumunta sa Arlene apartment nung gabi. At yun yung sinasabi ni Miss Jed Pilapil na nagpunta si Mayor. But during that night...
Correction. Walang sinabi si Miss Jed Pilapil na pupunta si Mayor. Ang sinabi lang ni Mr. Pilapil sa amin ngayon, sa atin ngayon, na walang raid na nangyari dun sa apartment. So, ewan ko lang kung saan mo na idagdag yung kwento na yon, Mr. Villanueva.
Kasasabi lang, Mr. Chair, kaninang before you, kasasabi lang ni Miss Jed Pilapil na nung gabi 9:30 pumunta si Mayor.
Sa bahay.
Arlene apartment. Yung bahay niya, Mr. Chair, is sa Arlene
Kanina
apartment.
nyo ba nabanggit yun, Ma'am Jed?
Yes, Your Honor. Kanina po, nabanggit ko nga po na yung pumunta nga po si Mayor, yung tanong kanina, kalimutan ko po. Pero yung sa tanong nyo po na na-raid, ang sagot ko po, wala pong raid na nangyayari doon sa Arlene
that's my
apartment.
point, Director Villanueva. Kasi you mentioned that there was a raid that was conducted in Arlene apartment. And she was there. Nando kayo yung
Yes, Your
pumunta
Honor.
sila. May pang-raid ba nang nangyari?
Actually, hindi nga po raid kasi si Mayor, nung pumunta siya doon, kinausap niya lang naman ako, tinatanong niya nga yung, hinahanap nga niya si Alan C., ang asawa ko. Wala naman na nangyari na raid. Iniwan niya lang yung 3 tao doon na nagbantay po sa akin. Yun lang po.
Okay. So ang kwento mo naman, ang version ng kwento mo, Director Villanueva, pagkatapos nung warehouse incident, dumiretso kayo dito sa Arlene apartment.
Yun ang
correct?
sinasabi niya, Mr. Chair, yung 9:30, na nagpunta kami nila Mayor sa Arlene apartment at doon sila nakapag-usap nila
Hindi,
Mayor.
yung version mo, ano yung sinabi mo kanina?
Yun na yun. After sa clandestine laboratory sa Dumoy,
Alright.
after everything has been settled down, pumunta na si Mayor at yung member ng team doon sa Arlene apartment dahil wala si Alan C. doon sa Dumoy. So pumunta sa Arlene apartment at doon nakita si Jed Pilapil, Mr. Chair. That same night, Mr. Chair.
So I just have a question, Director Villanueva. Why of all areas sa Arlene kayo pupunta? Was there an information or were there intelligence reports that he was to be found in that area?
Mr. Chair, kasi doon doon si Jed Pilapil at si Alan C. nakatira doon sa Arlene apartment.
Okay.
For 3 months, doon talaga sila makikita.
Okay. And you confirm this, Ma'am Jed Pilapil?
Yes, Your Honor. Doon po kami
Okay.
nakatira sa door 1 ng
Okay.
Arlene apartment po.
Okay, thank you very much. So anyway, sinabi niyo po walang raid ang nangyari.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, kayo mismo nandoon.
Opo.
Sino pa ang mga kasama niyo doon?
Yung anak ko po, yung katulong isa, at saka yung mother at saka father-in-law ko po.
At dito mo sinabi, at dito, base sa salaysay mo, dito sa ibinigay mo sa committee, pumasok ang dating mayor, galit na galit.
Oh, galit na galit siya. Pero hindi siya pumasok. Doon lang siya kasi parang yung parking area, may gate, doon lang po siya. Actually, hindi siya pumasok. In-invite ko nga po siya na, Mayor, pasok po kayo. Sabi niya, hindi naman daw siya magtatagal. Kaya hindi na siya pumasok. Nakatayo lang po siya doon sa may gate po.
Okay. So, hindi nyo kasama si Alan C. at that time?
Hindi po, kasi nga, hinahanap ko nga po siya.
Okay. So, parehas nyo hinahanap. Hindi rin kayo masyadong pamilyar dito sa warehouse sa Dumoy, tama?
Yung warehouse nga po, sasabi ko nga po kanina, hindi po ako, yung kumbaga, siguro kung once or twice na nakapunta po ako doon, yung naglinis, yung naghatid po ako ng Venetian blinds. Yun po.
So, mga ilang beses po kayo nakapunta doon, Ma'am Jed?
Hindi ko talaga exactly ma-remember, Your Honor, kasi medyo matagal. Pero as far as I know, siguro at most 3 times.
3 times.
O parang ganyan. Pero as far as I remember, twice lang po yung naglinis kami doon at saka yung naghatid ako ng Venetian blinds.
Ito ba yung itsura nung facility na na pinag-uusapan natin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yan. So, ang sinasabi mo, mga 3 beses lang po kayo nakapunta dyan.
Siguro parang ganyan.
Okay.
Probably siguro.
At doon sa loob ng 3 beses na nakabisita po kayo dyan, nakita niyo po ba ang loob at mga taong nagtatrabaho sa loob?
Ganito po yan, Your Honor. Wala pong occupancy ang bahay na yan. Nung binili po yan ng asawa ko, wala pong maliban po sa mga expired, karton-karton, ang dami po na parang isang bodega ng mga expired na juices. Yun lang po ang laman at saka madumi siya. Kaya nilinis namin. Tsaka ayaw ng asawa ko na itapon namin diretso yung mga juices kasi baka daw inumin ng mga bata, kukunin. Tapos baka maya magkaroon ng problema, malason sila. Baka kami pa ang accountable. Kaya ang ginawa namin, kami ng kapatid ko, yung katulong at kasama nga yung anak ko, ginunting-gunting namin yan, binuhos yung mga juices before we throw away yung mga sachet, yung Tetra Pak po.
Okay. So doon sa paglilinis ninyo at pagbisita nyo sa loob ng warehouse, may nakita po ba kayong mga kasama ng asawa nyo?
Wala
na
po.
mga katrabaho niya?
Wala. Kasi yung time na yun, wala, hindi pa nga yan na-occupy, wala pa. Kami lang po, asawa ko, ako, yung katulong, yung anak, at saka yung kapatid ko po, si Jong.
Anyway, Mr. Chair, those are pretty much all my questions. I would now request that we recognize Congressman Gutierrez because he's next.
Yeah, okay. Before that, tatanong ko lang si Jed. Jed, yung sinasabi ni General Wilkins Villanueva na yung Arlene apartment, nando doon yung Chinese na chemist. Kilala mo yon?
Wala po akong kilala na Chinese na chemist, honestly po.
Doon sa 7 pintuan ng apartment din, wala kang kilalang Chinese na nakatira doon?
Ito po ang totoo. Mga Chinese, marami po doon kasi may mga occupants na mga Chinese. Pero hindi ko alam kung mga chemist sila o ano sila. Kasi mga
Pero
Chinese.
alam mong merong Chinese.
May mga Chinese po doon.
Okay, sige. General Villanueva, the chemist that you were referring to, na allegedly ito yung nagluluto ng shabu, doon nakatira sa Arlene.
Doon, sir, dumiretso after galing sa airport,
So
Mr. Chair.
from the airport, dumiretso doon sa...
Dumiretso sa Arlene
Arlene.
apartment, Mr. Chair.
Exactly doon sa apartment unit
No,
ni...
Mr. Chair. Doon sa
Isa doon sa pito.
isa doon sa pito, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige, salamat. Now, we
Mr.
recognize Congressman... before Congressman Gutierrez,
Thank you.
Kongsi Adyong.
I ask. Thank you,
By
Mr.
the way, let me remind everybody, we have Mr. Britannico, we have other resource persons here as well, and we can ask questions later.
Yeah,
Please proceed.
Yeah, before I lose my chance of asking General Wilkins, this will be very brief po. Thank you, Rog. Gusto ko lang balikan. Miss Jed, sabi mo Jed, yung ano mo, no? You mentioned na negosyo nyo sa inyong asawa is yung nagdi-deliver ba kayo or
Display po.
nagdi-display kayo?
Opo, yung mga mattresses po sa DCLA po.
Okay, DCLA. Ito yung DCLA, sinabi mo naman na ito yung owned by Hong Min, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yung sa DCLA, and you recognize yung si Michael Yang, yung Hong Ming na yung tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Opo. Known ba ito, it's a common knowledge in Davao na itong DCLA na store is owned by a Chinese by the name of Hong Min?
Hindi ko po alam kung alam lahat.
Oo.
Kasi as far as I know, alam ko na siyang may-ari. Kasi nga, sinabi ng asawa ko na siya yung may-ari ng DCLA.
Okay. Yeah, kasi Mr. Chair, may mga kakilala din ako taga Davao, talagang common knowledge po sa Davao na ang may-ari talaga ng DCLA is a Chinese. No? Na-mention mo, may partner yung asawa mo sa pagdi-display ng mga
Yung sa foam
sa
po.
foam, yes.
Opo,
Sa
Your
foam.
Honor.
Okay. Hindi ba, natatandaan mo yung pangalan niya?
Yung apelido lang po, yung isa, Tan.
Hindi ba yan si Mr. Jimmy Tan?
Ay, opo, Your Honor. Parang siya, Jimmy ba yun? Yung
Jimmy
sa
Tan.
dating owner
So,
po ng Duratex po.
Oh, yan on. Siya
Opo.
yun. Yun siya yung partner nyo.
Siya po isa sa mga partners po.
Okay, sige. So, gusto ko lang kung tanungin si General Wilkins Villanueva. Yes. The last hearing, I asked you about how did you able to locate and gather evidences against Alan C. and et al. Hindi ba? Kasi tama po ba, di ba? I
Yes,
asked you
Mr.
about
Chair.
that. And you mentioned about for the past 3 months, you have dedicated personnel, operatives na bantayan at isurveillance si Alan C.
Yes,
right?
Mr. Chair.
And earlier, you mentioned also about Miss Jed Pilapil buying some, I don't know, maybe part ng paraphernalia. Tama po ba na dinadala niya sa Dumoy?
Cartons, Mr. Chair.
Mga cartons.
Yes.
Okay. So suspected of something contraband na po pwedeng gamitin. Tama ho ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so ibig sabihin, you've been doing surveillance on Miss Jed Pilapil and Mr. Alan C.
Marami, Mr. Chair. Pati yung Alex Kim,
Okay.
naka-ano na rin yun, Mr. Chair.
So I presume that since you were doing surveillance, you know Miss Jed Pilapil and Miss Alan C goes to DCLA store.
May mga footages na nagpupunta sila
Yes
doon
po. So can you confirm
sa
na
DCLA.
alam niyo po yung DCLA?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ilang taon na po kayong operative ng PIDEA in Davao City?
Since NAR group ako doon, Mr. Chair, 2001 hanggang 2007 ako sa Davao City, Mr. Chair.
And have you ever encountered, for example, or learned that the owner of DCLA is a Chinese?
Hindi ko, we are not particular kasi ang laki ng DCLA, Mr. Chair eh. Iba't ibang talagang ang laki nun. Ang concern namin yon during that time is yung display area, yung Polytex na foam na kung saan naandun sila.
Yeah, but
But
have you-
yung meeting ni Hong Ming and Alan C, wala kaming footage nun or
yeah, but
walang report on that, Mr. Chair.
yeah, because apparently, Mr. Chair, what nagiging curious na ako because the way I understood your explanation in the previous hearing is that you've dedicated time, invested your so much resources just to pin down Alan C. And I just got curious why pag tinanong kita, since nagsisurveillance ka, how come you did not even at least bother to know why the C couple have been going to this DSLA store and what are the business there? At saka you never bothered to asking people who owns this DCLA, which apparently I see Hong Min na siya pala yung Michael Tan. Kasi 'di ba General Wilkins, no? We've been asking you kung bakit there was never any instance where in your report Michael Tan ay nasali doon sa matrix nung sabi nyo si Asierto lang, narinig nyo lang si Asierto. It was never in the part of your investigation. So ngayon that Miss Jed is saying na hindi, kilala na nila si Hong Min, that's Michael Tan. Nagiging lang ako, medyo na-intrigue lang ako. Bakit doon nagkaroon ng some gap doon sa missing nung inyong surveillance to a point na hindi nyo man lang tiningnan kung ano yung interest ng si couple na pupunta sila doon sa DCLA, which happens to be a common knowledge, is owned by a Chinese, na hindi mo lang kayo magtanong na 3 months kayo nag-invest ng time, resources, and operatives. Bakit to ganun?
Mr. Chair, kasi initially talagang walang Michael Yang sa personalities. Kung if you will remember back yung statement ni Asierto, nag-start yung Michael Yang noong 2016. Kasi kung may Michael Yang, again, kung may Michael Yang doon sa 2004, isinama namin siya sa pag-file ng kaso, Mr. Chair. So during that time, wala talagang Michael Yang na lumalabas or Hong Ming na lumalabas.
Pero kilala nyo po, na alam nyo po na ang may-ari nung store na yon ay isang Chinese by the
Chinese,
name of
Mr.
by
Chair.
the name
Common
of
knowledge
Hong
yun,
Min.
Mr. Chair, sa Davao.
At alam nyo po na Hong Min din yung pangalan.
Hindi ko, we did not bother to ask because he was not our person of interest during that time.
Shouldn't it be part of the, I don't know kasi I don't know how you do your surveillance in your case building strategies, but shouldn't it be a matter of interest also? Since they've been going to this store a couple of times, would that at least pique your interest?
Mr. Chair, kasi talagang task priority requirement kami. Kukunti lang kasi kami, Mr. Chair eh. Kaya nga, yung beforehand nag-start kami, nag-usap kami ni Colonel Asierto, sino ba yung mga personalities natin? Before we started, walang Michael Yan or Hong Min na nakalagay doon, Mr. Chair. So, we concentrated on the different personalities na doable na naandyan. So, one of those surveillance operations that we conducted, pumupunta sila JEDC doon sa lugar. But, display area kasi ng politics yun si Mr. Chair eh. That is owned by Alan C. dun sa Bunawan, Davao City.
Anyway, I will not labor on that point, Mr. Chair. I just find it so, I just find it interesting why a big project, hindi nila miss out nila yung ganun, no? And then just so happened, it's curious, naging curious lang ako kasi Hong Ming and Michael Yang are one and the same as positively identified by Ms. Jed. Samantalang, I mean, ang kinakatakutan ko dito, Mr. Chair, I'm sorry, Mr. Wilkins Villar, I'm not pointing fingers at you, Baka may cover-up nangyayari, Madam Chair. Kasi if we are really trying to dig deeper into this case, no, si Hong Min and Michael Yang, andun sa Matrix, is known to be one of the drug lords, Chinese drug lords, who happens to own a store where Miss Jed and his husband's Alan C. goes to and do business while the PIDEA is doing a 24-hour surveillance for 3 months. I don't know if you can answer that, Mr. Chairman. You're smarter than I. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. General Wilkins, question lang, no? Si Johnson Chua, who is allegedly the biggest drug lord in Davao, sinurveillance nyo rin yan.
Actually, yung Johnson Chua, Mr. Chair, is lumabas lang dun sa toll log namin. Wala kaming muka until nung after sa clandestine laboratory operation.
Nagkaroon na siya ng muka.
Nagkaroon siya ng muka, Mr. Chair.
And-
Kaya kung makikita nyo dun sa picture kanina, Johnson Chua, silhouette.
Oo.
So, ang priority namin talaga, Mr. Chair, is Johnson Chua, who is the financier, Alan C., who is the operations officer, and Alex Kim, yung nag-rent ng Dumoy apartment kay Jed Pilapil C., Mr. Chair.
So parang considered din na drug lord itong si Alan C.
Yes, Mr. Chair, siyang operations officer, Mr. Chair. Eh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, kasi my image of a drug lord is someone who is driving a fancy car, surrounded by armed bodyguards. Ito sa drug lord na to, hindi ganon.
Hindi ganun, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige. Salamat po. Now, we recognize...
Mr. Chair, with the indulgence of Congressman Gutierrez, I just have one question.
Okay. Make sure just one.
Just one,
Okay,
just one.
thank you.
But it's a very long one. Ma'am Jed, matanong ko lang, sinabi ninyo meron kayong display doon sa DCLA?
Yes, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
so that's not a question. That's a statement, Mr. Chair. Now I'm gonna go to my question. Ilang buwan nyo pong dinidisplay yung mga produkto nyo?
Actually po, bago lang kasi yung na ano yung politics kaya hindi ko ma-remember kung ilang buwan pero hindi siguro siya nag-last ng mga 2 months. Basta madali lang talaga.
Mabilis lang.
2004, opo. Kasi
Okay.
kakaumpisa lang po ng politics tapos nangyari po ito. So wala, ano lang yun, siguro mga October, November, mga ganun po.
At doon sa another question, Mr. Chair. Ilang beses mo nakitang kasama at nag-uusap yung mister mo at saka si Michael Yang?
Pag pupunta po kasi kami, di ba magkasabay po kami. Pag pupunta doon, sila lang po ang nag-uusap kasi hindi po talaga ako makaintindi lahat-lahat. Ano lang, konti lang po na Chinese ang naiintindihan ko.
When
Kaya,
you say doon sa DCLA o doon sa bahay, saan ba sila
hindi, sa
nag-uusap?
DCLA po. Kapag pupunta kasi kami doon, di ba, pag, halimbawa, mag-check kami yung inventory ng ano, yung mga mattress. So, hindi ko naman talaga maano kasi kung mag-usap man sila, hindi ganun siguro katagal kasi pag uuwi kami siya, nagda-drive ng sasakyan, so sabay kami.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to put down that in my notes. Thank you.
Thank you, DSJJ. Congressman Rog Gutierrez, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, most of our questions have been asked already. I'll just try to make this quick po, no? But before anything, maybe you know, Mr. Chair, through the ComSec, if SPO4 Carillo has made an appearance today.
ComSec? Si SPO4 Carillo ba nandrito?
But, Mr. Chair, we made the invitation. For
Yes,
last
we
time.
did invite him, and he did not even send a letter of excuse. So wala, yes.
So, Mr. Chair, maybe later we can take it up on admin matters po siguro. If I recall correctly, SPO4 Carillo was supposed to bridge the gap between the Dumoy raid, in between PIDEA and BI. Unfortunately, now that we have the testimony of Ms. Pilapil C, we could have patched it all together, but given na wala po siya, I think we might still have to have that invitation. So at the proper time po, siguro, Mr. Chair.
At the proper time,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Chair, proceeding po, no, I'd like to direct my first questions to former Director General Villanueva. Sir, good evening po. I hope you'll indulge this representation po, no. I know you've already given your testimony on this for the past how many hearings already, but you have to understand we're trying to stitch together your testimony, Asierto, Las Cañas, and now, of course, si Ms. Pilapil C. Just to quick background po, no. You've mentioned this earlier that tama po ba, is it fair to say that these 4 raid, well, the Arlene apartment was not a raid, no? But the raid on the Dumoy laboratory, Arlene apartment, Polytech's compound, and then the Agdao warehouse, were these all related?
Yes, Mr. Chair. But the Arlene apartment was not a raid, Mr. Chair. We just visited the Arlene apartment.
So these 4 localities in which you have conducted, the 3 were raids and 1 was just a visitation for invitation to interrogate po, no? These were all linked by what po? Ano yung naging base pa? This is all centered around Mr. Alex C.
It was all centered on the surveillance and casing operation for 3 months, Mr. Chair. And of course, centered on Alan C., Mr. Chair.
So it's centered on Mr. Alex C. and they're all related in the sense po na based on your findings, the Dumoy property is the laboratory, the Arlene apartment housed the chemists, and maybe know the relation po of the, what were the other one?
Agdao, Mr. Chair.
Agdao warehouse and the
Bunawan, Mr.
Bunawan.
Chair.
So
Yes.
ano po yung relation ng Bunawan and Agdao?
Yung Dumoy, Mr. Chair, yun yung clandestine laboratory. Yung Arlene apartment, Mr. Chair, is doon nakatira sila Alan C. At doon dumiretso yung 2 chemist galing sa Maynila papuntang Davao. So naging place of interest namin yung Arlene apartment. Yung Agdao, Mr. Chair, isa doon naglalagi si Mr. Kim, one of those who died during the raid. Doon naglalagi si Alex Kim. May bibilihin, tapos pupunta doon with yung aluminum truck niya. So, point of interest pa rin namin yung Agdao. Yung Bunawan, Mr. Chair, is, I believe, owned by Alex Kim. At doon naman sila magkasama ni Jong Pilapil. And that Bunawan, the Polytex Corporation, ito po yung foam factory nila Alan C. at Jed Pilapil. Na andun, Mr. Chair, yung doon namin nakuha yung napakalaking air scrubber. Air scrubber is walang use on industrial. Ang air scrubber is only used para sa Shabu Laboratory. And tinanong namin ang Amerikano tungkol dito, pinicturan, actually bumisita doon yung Amerikano, ang sabi niya, this will be used for mega laboratory somewhere. Kasi sinabi namin na andito na yung Dumoy. No, it will not be used there. It will be used somewhere. So maybe they are preparing those equipment, the air scrubber, somewhere para makapag set up ng another laboratory, Mr. Chair. And luckily, yung Agdao, Mr. Chair, naandun lahat yung mga precursors, controlled precursors and essential chemicals na panggawa ng shabu. At dun sa Polytex International, Mr. Chair, is naandun yung air scrubber, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And Dumoy was an actual operating lab.
Actual laboratory, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you. Mr. Chair, just to drive the point earlier po, no, you mentioned that you had an organic membership in your... This was not PIDEA yet po, no, at the time? This was the predecessor?
Wala pang actual PIDEA dyan, Mr. Chair, kasi kagagawa lang ng PIDEA, 2002 eh. 2004, pulis pa po yung galing NARCOM, yun yung naging PIDEA. Tapos ang ginamit ko po doon ay members din ng Police Anti-Crime and Emergency Response and some of the personnel from Regional Mobile Group 11, Mr. Chair.
So this was already a composite
Composite,
group.
including yung AIDSOT ni Colonel Asierto, Mr. Chair.
But Mr. Chair, at the time, those under your command, what was your position and title po at this time? What was your office?
I'm the Regional Director of PIDEA Regional
So may
Office
PIDEA
11.
na po at this
Yes,
time.
Mr. Chair.
Newly created 2002. It's just
Yes,
that wala
Mr.
pang tao.
Chair.
So how many organic members of PIDEA did you have at your
Wala
command?
pang, kami sir, Mr. Chair, wala pa kaming 15.
Okay, so
Kaya
not
nga,
even
kumuha
15.
ako na ibang tao sa PACER, kumuha ako na ibang tao sa Regional Mobile Group.
And
Mr.
this
Chair.
included si Mr. Madre Ramos po ba?
Monte de Ramos, Mr.
Monte
Chair.
de Ramos
Yes,
is
Mr. Chair.
organic member ng PIDEA.
Hindi, Mr. Chair, kasi galing siya ng NDEP before. Hiniram ko lang muna siya para maging PIDEA. Actually, wala talagang organic talaga na PIDEA kasi panay police kami, Mr. Chair. Eh.
So, Mr. Chair, at the time when you composed this group, you had actual supervision of this operation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So I think this is just going back to the point of Chairman Abante when asking if you had, if we were talking about command responsibility. It's not something na my organization that you were detached. You had not really handpicked, but you requested to come up with this group and you had direct supervision.
I
This
have
is not
supervision.
to imply anything. Of course, you enjoy the presumption of regularity. But I just wanted to point out po, no, siguro at what Chairman Abante was saying, that in relation to command responsibility and whether there would be liabilities, I think there was a very close-knit and direct part for your team as a whole. I don't think it was that detached. But we'll go back to that at a later time, Mr. Villanueva. So you have an organic group of 15 plus coming from the other law enforcement agency personnel that you could muster. And you conducted this operation centered around Mr. Alex C. Tama po? Alex? Yung husband, Mr. Alan C., Alex Kim, and then the Pilapil siblings. And that's how you conducted the four. So at this operation, I wouldn't want to say casualties po, Mr. Villanueva, no? But during the operation, the Dumoy Lab, there were 6 fatalities. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Were there any live suspects? that were
Wala po,
apprehended?
Mr. Chair.
Wala. So just
Wala
the
po.
6. Then from the Arlene apartment, you had 13 based on the blotter na you invited for interrogation.
Hindi nga ako pa familiar, Mr. Chair. But because based on the blotter, maybe there's 13 of them. But hindi ako familiar kung ilan ang actual nun, Mr. Chair.
So that's just based on the blotter. So
Yes,
Arlene
Mr.
apartment. For the Agdao and the Bunawan raids, wala pong
Walang
na.
tao, Mr.
So this is mostly just the air scrubber sa Bunawan and then the precursor chemical. sa Agdao.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So if we're talking about personality suspects, you have 6 killed in action in Agdao In Dumoy.
Dumoy.
And then the 11 that were investigated. Out of the 13, sorry. So out of the 13 that you invited for interrogation, and you don't recall po no, how many. Eventually, according to the plotter, you turned it over to the Bureau of Immigration. And doon po tayo nagkalituan po, no?
Yes, Mr.
Last hearing, you said you don't remember how many you turned over. The Bureau of, in Bureau of Immigration naman wouldn't know also how many they received. That's why po we were trying to invite si SPO4 Carrillo. And why is that po again, Mr. Villanueva? Mr. Carrillo was under your command po ba? And siya yung in charge? ng
He was
custody
my
nila?
operations officer during that time, Mr.
And he was definitely in charge of the turnover to the Bureau of Immigration.
Actually, Mr. Chair, dahil nagkakaganong-ganon na kami, so may mga lakad sila Carillo na sila na yung lumakad. And part of that is sila na nga yung turnover ng mga Chinese do sa immigration, Mr. Chair. So, personal knowledge, wala akong personal knowledge actual dun sa ginawa ni Carillo. Pero part of that is, ito yung sinasabi ko na kung anong mga kailangan yung gawin, you do it because everything was delegated. Meron akong team para mag-file ng kaso, meron akong team para to conduct further investigation, meron akong team to collate other pieces of evidence for future anti-drug operation. So, ganun na yun, Mr. Chair. So, kung ano yung ginawa nun nila Carillo, nila Monte de Ramos, it was delegated, Mr. Chair.
Of course, Mr. Villanueva, Mr. Chair, that's precisely why we would like to invite SPO4 Carrillo. That's why we reiterated that. Kasi siya nga po talaga may personal knowledge. We don't doubt that you have or do not have personal knowledge on this matter. We understand the delegation of powers that you had to conduct. But we just wanted to know po that, in fact, we are looking for the right person. Si SPO4 Carrillo talaga yung in charge regarding the invitation for interrogation. So with that, Mr. Chair, we'd like to know what you do know for personal knowledge regarding that January 1 invitation. So, tama po ba? You confirmed as questioned by Chairman Nabante that you invited si Ms. Jed Pilapil C noong January 1. Tama po ba?
Marami ring dinala sa office eh.
Marami
Marami ring dinala sa immigration kasi kasama doon Davao City Police Office, Mr. Chair eh. So composite pa rin yun eh, composite. So kanya-kanyang investigation, hindi kasi kaya ng PIDEA to conduct its own investigation sa ganong karaming tao. So we delegated some people na imbestigahan ng EDSOT, imbestigahan ng Davao City Police Office, at imbestigahan ng PIDEA. So during that time, si Jed Pilapil, dun sa PIDEA because she's the main person of interest namin, Mr. Chair.
Wait, so, Mr. Villanueva, through the chairman, most respectfully, you had information that chemists from the USDA came from Manila po, no? Arrived, and you have not identified yet sino yung chemist. You were able to get 13 people from Arlene Apartments. Tapos, dinivide po ninyo kung sino ang mag-interrogate.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Parang ganun na nangyari, Mr. Chair.
Wouldn't that be odd? Because if you're trying to investigate as to one piece, shouldn't it be that the PIDEA as the lead agency? You said that this was your operation. You should have the bird's eye view po kung ano ang alam, what is the involvement of certain personalities. Ano yun? So like, there would be independent investigations, interrogations, tapos nagpapasahan na lang po kayo ng information.
No, Mr. Chair. Physically, Mr. Chair, yung PIDEA office is as big as this. Maliit lang ang PIDEA office during that time, Mr. Chair. Hindi namin kayang ipunin lahat yung tao doon at investigahan lahat.
So you're talking about custody?
No, yung investigation, Mr. Chair. Kasi hindi kakasyang lahat ng tao na andyan na napakaliit ng office namin. So I decided, sige, ikaw ang mag-handle dito. Kuha ka. Mag-handle ang EDSOT. Meron din silang iniimbestigahan. So sa PIDEA, ang priority namin is yung nakukunan namin sa video at surveillance footages.
So you made selections naman po. Out
Yes.
of 13, you identified which ones you would
Yes,
prioritize sa PIDEA.
Si SPO4 Carrillo, Mr. Chair, ang nag-decide kung sino yung si SPO4 Carrillo and of course Monte de Ramos ang nag-decide kung sino yung kakausapin nila, Mr. Chair.
So at the time po, what was identified? Definitely, we have Ms. Jed Pilapil C. And would you recall who else were brought to the PIDEA?
Hindi ko matandaan talaga, Mr. Chair.
But you remember having Ms. Jed Pilapil C.
right after the investigation, Mr. Chair, kasi maliit lang yung office nga makikita mo eh. Meron lang akong maliit na kwarto, but sa labas naman siya kinakausap. So, most probably nakita ko. But I cannot remember clearly kung what transpired during that time.
But wouldn't it be po, kung maliit yung inyong opisina, mas maalala mo kung sino-sino po yung nandun? Kasi maliit nga po and you only had how many of them? in custody?
Nakita ko, Mr. Chair, nakita ko, but yung actual interview on her, I did not witness during the actual interview, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Villanueva. I had more questions, but I think
Yes.
at a later time when we have SPO for Carillo together,
Okay.
so we can type.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr.
Thank
Chair,
you.
I'd like to direct my questions to Ms. Pilapilsi.
Before that, Congressman Gutierrez, I have here a letter from the OIC of the DPRM of the Philippine National Police informing us that Police Major Baltasar Carillo has passed already. So, nandito natin, is anyone from DPRM? Can you please give the committee an information as to sino ba to? Police Major Baltasar Carillo. Can you please identify yourself?
Good evening, sir. I'm Police Major Randolph Amorcabilis Macoy from PRBS, the Chief Inventory Section of the Pensions and Gratuity Division.
Sige, what can you tell this committee about Major Carillo? Because he was invited for today's committee hearing, but he did not attend.
According, sir, to the issued General Order Number NHQG or CPO 2020-820, Police Major Baltasar Kimson Carillo from Pro 11 is effectively posthumously retired effective December 19, 2019 po, sir.
Okay, sige.
He died in the inactive service po, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. So, the information is well taken. So, you may proceed, Congressman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess that would explain why no letter was received by this committee. It's unfortunate po, no? Because he would be our only lead to the question of what happened, what truly happened in the Dumoy and Arlene Apartments issue. But we'll see what we'll have to do po with our other. We'll have to see it a later time po, no? Mr. Chair, may we ask really briefly lang po, no? They mentioned the DRM died in action. Was this during a police operation po ba? Or
Well, the letter here did not say that he died in action or in the line of duty, but we were just informed by the DPRM that he has.
sige po, Mr. Chair. Just have her question on the side. So, Mr. Chair, proceeding with my interpellation, I'd like to ask si Ms. Jed Pilapilsi. Ma'am, magandang gabi po.
Good afternoon po, Your Honor.
Afternoon po. Good afternoon. Ms. Pilapilsi, nabasa po namin yung lifestyle dito. At marami po kayong nabanggit in relation to po yung nangyari dito sa Dumoy. May ilang katanungan lang po ako in relation po dito. Nung una, medyo, pasensya na po na ulitin ko yung tanong po, no? Kasi medyo nalito po kanina sa interpellation ni Chairman Abante. So kayo po ay naimbita para sa isang investigation nung January 1 at naulit po ito nung January 4, tama po ba?
Opo, Your Honor.
Nung January 1, sino po yung sabi po ninyo, parang si Monte de Ramos?
Siya yung medyo mahaba-haba talaga na investigation. Pero naimbestigahan din po ako, pinapasok ako ni Sir Wilkins doon sa office niya, yung maliit niya na office, kasama yung anak ko, bitbit ko, na may tinatanong din po siya sa akin.
Nung January 1 po ito.
Opo.
So, January 1, mahaba-habang investigation by Monte de Ramos. May short portion pa. Akala ko po, sabi po ninyo, hindi po nagtanong sa'yo personally si Mr.
Hindi yung
Villanueva.
kasi sir, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I'm saying na hindi po si Sir Wilkins dahil we were talking about yung investigation at the time which was conducted by Sir Monte de Ramos. Hindi po siya, wala po siya doon. Pero sa totoo lang, separate kasi yun tinanong niya ko dun sa office niya. May tinanong din siya sa akin. Yung kay Sir Monte de Ramos, yun yung mahaba-haba na mga tanong-tanong niya.
So ito po yung sinasabi ni Mr. Villanueva kanina na maliit yung opisina, meron siyang sariling office, kayo po
Opo.
nasa labas. Doon po yung connection po kayo ni Monte de Ramos. Tapos at a latter time, pumasok po kayo sa opisina mismo ni
Opo.
Mr. Villanueva. At meron rin kayong interrogation na pong nangyari po.
And ano po, Your Honor, I cannot exactly remember if nauna ba si Sir Wilkins o yung si Sir Monte de Ramos. Pero I was interrogated in the same day po na kasi ito lang yung tinanong sa akin ni Sir Wilkins na Jed, ituro mo kung saan pa yung mga laboratory ng asawa mo kasi parang ito yung bargain para makalaya ko. Sabi ko sa kanya, hindi ko nga alam po yung asawa ko na may laboratory, paano ko ituturo na meron siyang ibang laboratory. Kayo naman ang nag-surveillance. So actually, I was sarcastic at that time. I'm sorry for that. Nasagot ko talaga siya, bakit mo ko tatanungin? Kayo naman ang nag-surveillance, alam nyo kung saan yung mga laboratory ng asawa ko kung meron nga. Bakit akong tinatanong nyo? So medyo na ano siya doon, na-offend siguro siya doon. I can still remember at that time kasi hinahawakan ko yung baby ko nung tinatanong niya ako kung saan-saan pa daw yung mga laboratory ng asawa ko.
Sige po. And I would ask you, Mr. Villanueva, what he's made it clear that he does not, hindi niya po naalala na kayo po ay tinanong po niya at the time. So, we'll take that testimony as it on its face po. No? So, Ms. Pilapil, si Monte de Ramos, mahaba-habang investigation, si Mr. Villanueva, according to your testimony, may konting investigation rin po sa inyo. May si Carillo po ba ay nag-interrogate po sa inyo or any other members na kilala po ninyo?
Si ano din, si Sir Carillo, nag-ano din siya sa akin, may mga tanong-tanong. Actually, naalala ko yun, pinapunta ko doon sa likod ng office ng PDEA. Hindi talaga sa office. Nagtaka nga ako bakit doon ako dinala. Yung parang, ewan ko doon, parang may maliit na, parang shade lang doon. Hindi ko rin kilala yung mga tao na nag-interrogate sa akin. Marami sila actually. Binibidyo pang ako nila while nagatanong sila sa akin. Doon sila, pero hindi ko talaga sila kilala kung sino sila.
And naimbita ulit po kayo sa PDEA, no? Noong January 4.
Opo, Your Honor.
And sino po yung mga nag-investigate po sa'yo? Can you give us a rundown po, gaya nung ginawa mo po dito for January 1? Sino pong unang...
The same pa rin people. Kaya nga ito, hindi ko sila makalimutan kasi ito silang dalawa, si Val Carillo at saka yung si Monte de Ramos. Sila po yung yung palagi nagtatanong po sa akin, Your Honor.
Separately, hindi magkasabay.
Hindi. Iba-iba.
Separately January 4.
Opo.
Nung January 4, na-investigate, na-interrogate, na-question po ba kayo ni Mr. Villanueva?
Hindi ko na po maalala. Once lang po na...
So January 1 po yung naalala?
Once lang talaga. Naalala ko na yun lang. Tinanong niya po yung tungkol doon.
So going back po to sa iyong investigation ng January 1, nabanggit po ninyo na tinatanong po kayo kung may mga laboratories or whatnot. But based on sa sinumpaang salaysay po ninyo, nabanggit nyo na tinanong rin naman kayo kung ano po yung inyong mga negosyo. At doon mo po nabanggit, no? Dito binanggit po ninyo na candies at chocolates yung iyong distribution doon sa Agdao.
Opo.
And nabanggit po ninyo na binili nyo rin yung Dumoy para iparenta. Binili rin po, meron rin po kayong paggawa ng foam at metal sa Bunawan. At of course, yung Arlene apartment, doon po kayo nakatira. So coincidentally, ito rin po yung 4 locations na naging target po ng investigation and raid ng PDEA. Tama po ba?
Hindi ko nga po alam na sino-surveillance po ako, Your Honor. Honestly, wala kong alam.
Pero yun nga po, ito yung mga localities, ito yung mga location. Itong mga binanggit mo po dito, yun mismo yung mga na-raid.
Kasi yun po yung parang routine ko po araw-araw.
Okay po. So at the time po, nung nalaman po ninyo na based on the investigation, halimbawa, yung paggawaan po ninyo ng foam and mattress sa Bunawan, nahanapan pala ng air scrubber. Yung inyong warehouse sa Agdao na supposedly for distribution of candies and chocolates, nahanapan pala ng mga precursor chemicals. I'm sure may mga pictures po yun na pinalabas. Nagulat po ba kayo?
Honestly po, Your Honor, hindi ko po talaga alam na meron yung mga scrubber, yung mga gina-mention po ni Sir Wilkins. Wala pa akong alam doon. Kasi pag pupunta po ako sa office, sa area, usually sa office po ako kasi nga ako ngayon nag-a-account po sa business po.
Back po sa binanggit po ninyo tungkol sa Arlene apartment. Sabi po ninyo sa inyong apartment, 5 po kayo, no? That's, sorry, 6. Ikaw po yun, yung inyong asawa, yung inyong kapatid, mother-in-law, father-in-law, at kasambahay. Tama po ba?
Anak ko po.
Ay, at anak pa. So, 7. Tapos, yung in the other rented apartments na mga Chinese nationals rin, may naalala po kayong number? Kung ilan po sila doon? Ilan po?
Yung, kasi kami, door
Yes,
1 po kami, Your Honor. Tapos yung door 2, si din yun ang apelido, pero hindi ko sila kilala. Mga Chinese din yun. Yung 3, yung 4, hindi ko nakilala. Yung sa 7 lang po.
Pero total number of occupants po, maalala po ba ninyo? In addition to the 7 na kayo po sa inyong apartment.
Hindi ko talaga maano, Your Honor, kung ilan po talaga yung sila. Kasi nung dinala po kami doon sa PDEA, pinasakay po kami lahat, pero hindi ko po alam kung ilan kami at that time po, Your Honor.
Sa bagay po, no, inamin naman ni Mr. Villanueva na nung kinuha po kayo from Arlene apartment, separate na po kayo to different offices. So, hindi
Iba.
sabay-sabay yung based on the blotter na 13 personalities. Sige po. One last question po, no, kasi sana po naintindihan po ninyo na naramdaman ko po yung sinasabi po ninyo earlier to the Honorable Chairman. Masakit po na balikan tong experience. Pero I hope you understand, kailangan po namin ito kasi nga po marami ng mga pieces of evidence and testimony na lumalabas ulit. This is why we have to revisit po yung nangyari. And one of those mentioned was that of, 2 of them actually, yung testimony ni Arturo Las Cañas and ni Colonel Asierto. At may nabanggit po na personalities. Yung una, si Mr. Hong Ming Yang, na naitanong na po sa inyo and you confirmed na kilala po ninyo. But I also have to bring up si Mr. Johnson Chua, and I think this was also questioned by, I think, Chair Barbers, I think. Kilala niyo po ba si Mr. Johnson Chua?
Kilala ko po siya kasi siya po yung nag-rent ng door 7.
So kasama rin po siya sa Arlene apartment.
Opo. May pamilya po siya eh. May asawa siya at saka anak.
Siya po ba ay kasosyo rin po ninyo in yung sa Dumoy, yung sa Agdao, yung sa Punawan?
Hindi ko po maalala pero sila, friend po sila ng asawa ko po.
Malapit na magkaibigan po ba? Or
Siguro kasi nga yung, 'di ba, kapitbahay, tapos minsan kasi nagmamadyong sila doon. Yun lang. Parang yun lang ang parang nakikita ko na nila, na pumupunta siya doon. Maglalaro ng mahjong po.
Mr. Chair, may we know from the Secretariat if we have a picture of Mr. Johnson Chua just for confirmation.
Do we have a picture of Mr. Johnson Chua? Comsec?
Well, Mr. Chair, while that's being done...
Not on our files, but we will ask the Secretariat to look for it.
Sige po. Mr. Chair, actually my questioning is done. I'll just reserve for other time. Siguro when the picture is ready, we'll just
Okay.
flash it through. But with that, I'd like to conclude my interpellation. Maraming salamat po. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Gutierrez. Just a clarification kay General Wilkins Villanueva. So, Wilkins, ilang buwan yung sinurveillance si Alan C?
3 months, Mr. Chair.
So, dun ba sa 3 months na surveillance ninyo, hindi nyo na nakita o narinig na lagi niyang kausap si Michael Yang?
Wala, Mr. Chair eh.
So, hindi...
Honestly, Mr. Chair, kung alam ni Asierto at alam ko na involved si Michael Yang, Mr. Chair, hindi makakalusot si
Hindi,
Michael
pero
Yang.
ganito, sabi mo kanina, it was a joint operation
Yes,
between
Mr.
the
Chair.
PIDEA at saka AIDSOT, correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
PIDEA, represented by you and your team, at si PIDEG o si AIDSOT, represented by Colonel Asierto at
Yes.
saka yung team niya.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero dun sa report ni Colonel Asierto, at lagi niyang sinasabi sa atin na meron siyang intelligence report against Michael Yang. Hindi ba niya shinare sa iyo yung information, yung intel na yan?
Yun nga ang problema sa kanya, Mr. Chair eh. Kasi during the time na magkasama kami, wala namang Michael Yang kami.
Kasi if it was a joint operation, sabi niya may Michael Yang, sabi mo wala. Kaya napakahirap timbangin kung ano ba yung rito issue. But we will get to that more comprehensively in the next probably hearing, no?
Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang pong sabihin, kay Mr. Wilkins. The last hearing that we had, nung sinasabi niya yung tungkol sa buhay mo, Mr. Wilkins, ako nagsalita, no? Di ba? Nasigawan pa nga kita sapagkat hindi mo naman sinasabi yung tungkol sa buhay mo eh. Pinagtatanggol mo si Michael Yang. Oh, kita mo, tinan mo ugali mo. May ugali ka pang hindi maganda rito. Hindi mo kinakailangang magkaroon ng ganyang ugali. Sinasabi ko lang sa iyo ang totoo. At the time that you were actually telling us who you are and your family, you mentioned Michael Yang and you even protected him. Yun ang nakalagay. If you want, we could be able to get the record para makita dyan, malaman natin. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, salamat, Congressman Abante. Yun lang, no? It still remains a puzzle to most of us, considering that merong joint operation, pero yung side ni Colonel Asierto, meron siyang intel against Michael Yang, and on the side of PIDEA, where most of it are your team, no? Team, kasama mo yun, pati si Carillo, kayo nagsisurveillance kay Mr. Alan C. Doon sa surveillance nyo kay Alan C., sinabi mismo ng asawa ni Alan C. na madalas silang pumupunta sa DCLA, kausap si Michael Yang. Pero sa inyong report, wala yun. Sige, please respond to that and then we will ask the next interpellator. Sige, yes, General
Ito na nga
Wilkins.
kasi, Mr. Chair, kasama ng team ko yung AIDSOT. Kasama ng team ko yung AIDSOT. Kung alam ni Asierto na merong Michael Yang, si Michael Yang makikita lang sa DCLA, Mr. Chair. Hindi naman nagtatago si Michael Yang during that time. Lumabas, Mr. Chair, si Michael Yang 2016. And so, sa akin, wala akong idea na involved si Michael Yang doon.
Pero hindi na share sa iyo ni Colonel
Wala,
Asierto.
Mr. Chair.
So walang exchange of information kayo.
On that Dumoy clandestine laboratory operation, Mr. Chair, ang target lang is Johnson Chua, Alan C., and
Alex Kim.
Alex Kim, Mr. Chair. Kung merong Michael Yang, Mr. Chair, na i-share dapat si Asierto, ang daling kunin sa ang daling puntahan sa DCLA.
Hindi, kasi like example, no, ito si Alan C., Chinese citizen ito. Dumayo ng Pilipinas, napunta ng Davao. Ang kausap, mga Chinese. So definitely, if Alan C. Is a drug lord, maaaring ang mga kausap niya sa Pilipinas na Chinese din, ay maaaring may involvement sa kanyang negosyo. And I'm sure nasagi nyo yan o natisod nyo yan doon sa inyong intel. It's just that it's still a puzzle to us kung bakit hindi lumalabas ang pangalang Michael Yang sa side mo. Pero sa side ng ka-joint operations mo, ay lumalabas. So again, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, we will discuss that, deliberate on that in the next Quadcom hearing. And I hope you will still be here to cooperate with us, General Wilkins.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
I'd just like to share my observation in connection
Share-
with what you said.
Okay,
No
short
questions, just
observation.
observation lang.
And then we now move to
Chairman.
Congressman Ernix Junicio. Sige, Congressman Kit.
Yes, sir. Yes, because I also questioned Director Wilkins about it before. And he mentioned nga na they picked up 11 other Chinese persons who were living right next to Alan C. Living lang. No? Nakatira lang doon sa apartments right next to Alan C. They picked them up because they were considered persons of interest. Just because they were living right next to Alan C. Now the question is, why wouldn't you go and question Michael Yang if Michael Yang was a business partner of Alan C? Pinick up mo nga yung mga kapitbahay lang na Chinese din. Bakit hindi mo man lang questionin yung Michael Yang na pinupuntahan, sabi ni Jed C, pinupuntahan nila, kinakausap nila. Yun nga that's what's boggling me kasi pinick up mo yung 11 others who are just residents and residing near Alan C. Yet hindi mo pinick up yung taong kausap nila at kanegosyo nila. Yan si Michael Yang. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Kit. Can we show a picture of the Secretariat, paki-flash mo nga yung picture, papa-identifyin muna natin kay ano. Miss Jed Pilapilsi, kilala mo ba yan? Ayun, sa likod. Ayun. Ito, sa harapan. Ito.
Yung mukha niya po, parang almost the same, parang ganyan. Kaya lang kasi yung picture niya
Kanino?
parang madumi, ano ba yan?
Kaninong mukha yan?
Yan si Johnson Chua po.
Okay, Johnson Chua. Okay, sige, salamat. Thank you, hindi yan madumi. Luma lang yung picture. Okay, sige, thank you. Next, we'd like to acknowledge...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, SDS...
meron lang akong kay General Wilkins. General Wilkins, nung dinetain niyo po si Jed, meron po kayong warrant of arrest?
Wala po, Mr. Chair.
Ano po ang basihan niyo? Bakit niyo ikinulong?
Hindi naman kinulong, Mr. Chair. She was invited for interview.
She was invited, but after the interview, ba't di niyo po pinalabas? Ano po ang basihan niyo? Bakit hindi niyo binalik?
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, I cannot, since it's already delegated to my investigator, hindi ko alam na kung ilang araw ba siya doon. Basta ang instruction ko is to conduct interview on Jed Pilapil because talagang person of interest siya, Mr. Chair. As to detaining her, no personal knowledge ako, Mr. Chair. Kasi magpa-follow up operation kami doon, Mr. Chair. During that time, we are busy conducting follow-up investigation and operation on other sites. Kung nasaan na ando ng mga warehouses, Mr. Chair.
DG, ikaw ang head of the agency. Kailangan po alam nyo yun. Diba? So, kung yung mga subordinate nyo, in-interrogate siya, you will approve it. Kasi, hindi ho pa biro-biro to kasi kanina pa ako nakikinig. Kasi si Jed, si Ma'am Jed, nakulong siya na walang warrant of arrest. Parang kidnapping po ang ginawa nyo eh. Parang ganyan nakikita ko kung walang warrant of arrest, kung hindi nyo binalik si Ma'am Jed.
I believe, Mr. Chair, hindi naman siya nakulong for... Hindi ko alam, Mr. Chair. I don't have the knowledge eh. Kaya hindi kita masagot, Mr. Chair eh. Hindi ko alam kung ilang araw ba siyang nakulong doon, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman, can I,
Yes, Congressman Ako,
Congressman
with the
Ako.
indulgence of SDS Gonzales.
Ea Blatter na binabasa ko. And I do not know the reason why you do not know. Parehas tayo nanggaling sa police, di ba? You are more ranking than Colonel Asherto. Tama.
Pareho lang kami nun, Mr. Chair.
Pero yung issue ay drugs. Tama.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And pursuant to the law, lahat ng operation ng police tungkol sa illegal drugs, it should be coordinated with PIDEA. Pursuant to the law. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So in other words, sa joint operation na binabanggit mo, ikaw ang overall ground commander.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And you are the one responsible for what your men will do and will not do. Tama?
Yes, Mr.
Under
Chair.
the principle of command responsibility. Bakit
Yes.
dinideny mo ngayon na hindi mo alam? You should accept responsibility for all the things that your people did outside the bounds of law. Di ba? Turo sa atin yan eh. And now, here, naririnig ko yung sagot mo kay SDS. You do not know anything about it. Inihuhulog mo na yung mga tao mo. And that is not supposed to be the case for a commander. Di ba? Kaya sagutin mo si Juan, si SDS ng tama. You are the overall commander of the joint operation. Kung ano man ang mali doon, sagot mo dapat. Kasi ikaw ang commander eh.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, answer the questions of the SDS properly. Kasi nagtataka ako. Parehas tayo ng pinanggalingan. Pero hindi ganyan yung pagkaturo sa akin. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Akop. With the indulgence again of Congressman
Okay, I will give the
Gonzales.
floor to Chairman
Okay,
Taraps.
Congressman Paduano, you are recognized.
Chairman, anyway, naunahan lang ako ni Chairman Akop. Kasi, General Wilkins, eto, last warning ko sa iyo sa nangyari, you're lying. Oh, gusto mo i-cite ko na? Paano pa yung mukha mo eh? You're not respecting this committee. And I warn you, this will be the last. Kanina nang tinatanong kita, akala mo hindi kita babalikan? Now you admit that it's all about your command responsibility. Well, in fact, magtuturuan na, aserto, dinideny mo. Of course, your words against the words of aserto. Now, eto si Jed. Did you really interrogate personally, Jed Pilapil?
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, hindi ko kasi maalala na kinausap ko siya. Basta ang alam ko, nasa opisina siya, Mr. Chair.
Ayun
And
yung
I
problema.
don't lie, Mr. Chair.
You're not lying, you lie. Just a few minutes ago. Sa harap ko. Sinabi mo na delegated, that authority was delegated to your personnel.
Yes,
Nung
Mr. Chair.
Nung tinanong ka ni Chairman Akop, inamin mo. Question of command responsibility. Are you not lying?
No, Mr. Chair.
Also, Mr. Chairman, with that, I move to cite in contempt General Wilkins. Pasensyahan po tayo dito. In violation of Section C, Section 11, letter C, of our rules. So move, Mr. Chairman. Pinagbigyan na nga kita. Yun pa ang sagot mo?
There is a motion to cite in contempt General Wilkins Villanueva for violating Section 11, paragraph C, refusal to answer relevant questions from the committee. This was duly seconded. And do I hear any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved.
Mr. Chairman, can I move for 1 minute? Suspension.
1 minute suspension. The chair just ruled on a motion to cite in contempt General Wilkins Villanueva. And this was duly seconded, and there was no objections recorded, and the motion was carried. But in a huddle between my co-chairs, we were discussing as to where we will detain General Wilkins Villanueva to serve the contempt order by this committee. But before that, our senior deputy speaker has signified his intention to make a manifestation. So at this point, I'd like to recognize Senior Deputy Speaker Gonzales for his manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, because the question emanates from my part, because I'm asking DG Wilkins about the warrant of arrest, and he did not answer. And I give floor to Congressman Akop, and then followed by Congressman Paduano. Well, that's why I asked for a 1 minute suspension, if they will serve the contempt now, or maybe because in the spirit of Christmas, it's holiday, you're here. And I give the floor to General Akop, Congressman Akop.
Congressman Ako? What is the pleasure of Congressman Ako?
May I make some minor amendment to the motion?
Please continue.
Since we have ruled that General Wilkins Villanueva to be cited in contempt, may I move that the serving of the penalty of contempt will be served when we come back after the holiday seasons in January. So move, Mr. Chair.
There is a motion as stated. Are there any
Mr.
second?
Chairman, before we rule, because it is seconded, may we ask some members? Nobody seconded.
Is there a second? So the motion of Congressman Akop is to implement the contempt order of General Villanueva after the holidays. Is this the amendment to the motion?
No, I would like to second the motion. You know, I believe in the spirit of Christmas, and I'm not even a Christian. So, in the spirit of your forgiveness, a season of forgiveness, I would go with the motion of General Ako.
Thank
And
you,
I second the
Congressman
motion.
Adjong. There was a second. Any objection? Hearing none, hearing no objections, the motion is carried. The serving of the detention of General Wilkins Villanueva as a result of the contempt order by this committee will be implemented when we resume the Quadcom hearing in January of 2025. So now to continue.
Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, I will not object to the amendments to the motion by this representation. But when you say resumption of the Quadcom, the hearing, or the resumption of session?
The
House.
resumption of the next scheduled Quadcom hearing, which we will determine before the opening of or the resumption of our session in January on January 12th.
I think, Mr. Chairman, it's just, anyway, it's a compromise, no? What we have done is a compromise, but I think it's mas maganda pa po kasing schedule for the next hearing of Quadcom will be set pa upon resumption. I think upon resumption, Mr. Chairman,
When you mean
January 13, because the resumption of Congress is January 13.
Congress will go on break on December 19, and we will resume on January 13, 2025. So the detention of General Villanueva will take effect on January 13. Is that
Yes, Mr. Chairman, to have a specific date, and siguro naman mahaba na yung bakasyon na yun.
Okay. Are there any objections? Hearing none, the motion is carried. So, Comsec, please take note of the motions amended motion that was adopted by the committee. So now we continue with our interpellations. The next to interpellate is Congressman Ernix Junicio. You have 10 minutes.
Mr. Chair, sorry, kanino na po ba tayo, Mr. Chair? Do
You
we
can
proceed?
ask anyone, any member who
Oh,
wishes
yes.
to intervene can ask anybody.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are here, actually pumunta ako ngayong araw na to, Mr. Chair, para dun sa manifestation na binanggit ko noong nakaraan na hearing, Mr. Chair, regarding the case of a dear friend of mine who was killed through an EJK. He's an EJK victim, Delphine Britannico, Your Honor. The brother, which is also a close friend of mine, Mr. Salvador Britannico, is here. I hope, Mr. Chair, that we could give him some leeway and a little bit of time just to tell us the story of the death of his brother, Mr. Chair.
Did you prepare a statement, Mr. Britannico?
Mr. Chair, I did prepare a brief statement.
So brief, meaning
Very
brief.
brief.
Okay, I just
Statement,
wanted to
probably
emphasize
5
it's a
minutes.
brief statement.
Yes,
Yes, you
Mr.
may
Chair.
do so. Please proceed.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Maayong hapon sa tanan. Una po sa lahat, nagpapasalamat po ang aking pamilya, kabilang ang aking mga magulang na si dating Congressman Buddy Britannico, dating Assemblyman rin po, at Dr. Alita Britannico sa pagkakataon binigay ng House of Representatives Quad Committee upang maibahagi ang nangyari sa nakababata kong kapatid na si Delphine Celestial Britannico sa Iloilo City noong January 19, 2020. Mamaya po may video, pero ito po yung picture ng kapatid ko po para medyo makilala po ng committee. Si Del po ay isang napakabuting anak, asawa, ama, kapatid, kaibigan at Pilipino. Lumaki po siyang inasa sa isip at isinasagawa kung paano makatulong at maging makatarungan sa kapwa. Yung kapatid ko pong si Del ay naging collateral damage sa sinasabing war on drugs at ng mga naibabalitang extrajudicial killings o EG case. Isa po siyang inosenteng, pribadong tao na walang pakundangan pinatay ng mga pulis na nadiskubring nanggaling sa isang extrajudicial killing operation. Gusto po namin ibahagi ang nangyari kay Del upang po makatulong sa bansa, sa Quadcom at sa iba pang mga ahensya sa kanilang pag-imbestiga sa mga EG case at sa mga sangkot dito. Gusto po naming patibayin ang batas upang maiwasan ang pangyayaring gaya ng pagpatay kay Del at sa napakarami pang iba. Makatulong rin ang pagpapalakas ng checks and balances sa mga sangay ng gobyerno sa aspeto ng law enforcement at pagpalakas ng kakayahan ng gobyerno magproseso ng forensic evidence sa pag-imbestiga sa mga krimen. Narinig po namin sa isang nakaraan hearing ang pahayag na arong is arong. Sana po ito ay hindi lang salita at ang gumawa ng mali ay tunay na managot. Narinig po namin ang pahayag, the end does not justify the means. Kami po ay sang-ayon dito. Maraming mga Pilipinong pinaslang. Maraming nadamay. Kabilang po doon si Del, hindi na po mababalik ang kapatid ko, hindi po dapat mangyari ito at hindi din dapat mangyari sa iba. Lahat po tayo ay Pilipino. Mali po ang pagpaslang sa tao ng labag sa batas. Patuloy po naming hinahangad ang hustisya para kay Del. Umaasa po kami sa tulong ng Quadcom na mahikayat ang DOJ, Department of Justice, liderato ng PNP, pati na rin ng Internal Affairs Service, NBI at iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno para maseryosolba ang kaso ni Del. Maraming salamat po, Chairman Ace Barbers, SDS Gonzales, the co-chairman of the Quadcom, kay Congressman Ernix Junicio, na unang nabanggit ng kaso ni Del sa Quadcom at sa lahat po ng miyembro ng Quadcom. May video po yata na prepare tungkol po sa nangyari po sa kapatid ko. A few details, Mr. Chair. My brother Delphine was murdered by being shot 8 times outside this village in Prime Estates in Barangay Nabitasan, La Paz, Iloilo City at around 12:20 to 12:30 p.m. on January 19, 2020. This was while he was taking his motorcycle out for a Sunday ride when he came across a group of men who just carried out an EJK operation against call center agent and alleged drug list target Alain Muller in Barangay Cuartero, Haro, Iloilo City about 20 minutes earlier. Del came across a group of men parked right outside his village who were stripping their getaway car of identifying marks. Del was supposedly calling her his wife and taking pictures, and this was when they killed Del and took his phone to hide their tracks. One of the suspects, the person identified to have rented the gray Mitsubishi Adventure used in both killings, Police Corporal Joseph Andrew Joven, eventually surrendered to the NBI Webro West Visayas Regional Office on June 5, 2020, after charges had been filed by the NBI Death Investigation Division against Joven, a police corporal Jerry Villanueva, and 2 other John Does on May 29, 2020. Subsequently, Police Corporal Joven admitted on video on 2 separate occasions and on other instances that he was the driver of the vehicle in both murders and that his group took orders from their then commanding officer, Iloilo City Police Office Director Colonel Martin Defensor, for the extrajudicial killing of Alain Muller and other targets. Joven had earlier shared the same narration of events to the NBI DID. Joven identified fellow police officers Ricardo Morante, Vernilio Escorial as the gunmen in the murder of Alain Muller and of my brother Delfin Britannico. According to Joven, also in the vehicle were City Drug Enforcement Unit police officers Michael Dimihilio de Felipe and Freddy Liboon. Joven narrated that the alleged drug subject Alain Muller, who was a surrenderee, was a level 1 target and had a 50,000 reward for his killing. Joven further confessed that since his transfer to the Special Ops team in September 2019, he had participated in 3 other EGKs with other police officers, including Police Sergeant Melbert Orculio Nino, Police Sergeant Rodel Paulan, Police Sergeant Denay Risia. Joven confessed that these killings had been first under the command of a Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Buslotan, then directly under the orders of the ICPO Chief of Police, Colonel Martin Defensor Jr. Those 3 other extra EGKs were of Roy Goco in Barangay Rizal, Lapus, Iloilo City, killed on September 18, 2019, by Nino, who was driven by Paulan, with Escorial and Joven as backup. The second one, Felix Argenal Jr., was killed in Barangay Takas, Haro, Iloilo City, killed on October 18, 2019, by Escorial, who was driven by Joven, with Morante and Paulan as backup. And the last, before my brother was killed, the last EGK was on Kagawad Virgilio, Coronado Soledad, in Poblacion, Leganes, Iloilo, killed on December 26, 2019 by Escorial with Joven, Morante, and Paulan accompanying them. On this last killing, Joven confessed that his group received on 100,000 from Colonel Martin Defensor Jr. for the killings of Kagawad Soledad, and that this was given to them at Defensor's office in the ICPO headquarters. Joven claimed that then Colonel Defensor gave him sums of money ranging from 5,000 to 50,000 and advised him to hide after the killing of Del. Also, Joven shared information that Colonel Defensor protected, gave financial and other assistance to the other principals after the commission of the crime and covered up the crime committed as evidenced by the fact that he did not initiate the filing of any case arising from Delfin's killing. Further, Joven said that the Iloilo City Police Office has a CCTV system that recorded the entry of the adventure with the respondents Morante, Escorial, Joven, De Felipe, and Liboon on board and entering and leaving the ICPO premises after the killing of Del on the day after the killing of Del. Joven narrated that Police Colonel Defensor ordered that the ICPO's CCTV footage of that day be erased in order to destroy the evidence. Yun lang po ang summary, Mr. Chair.
Okay, sige, maraming salamat and we condolence sa inyong pamilya. Congressman Ernix Dionisio, you have the floor. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I'd like to ask lang sana ng mabilisan before I give my short manifestation. Do we have any representatives from Department of Justice?
Yes,
Good
we do.
afternoon, Mr. Chair and Your Honors. I am Prosecutor Wesley Yang, Your Honor.
Hi, Attorney. Tama po ba?
Yes.
Attorney, sa pagkaalam niyo po, ano po ba ang status ng case ng pagkamatay ng ating biktima na si Del Britannico?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ang nangyari kasi walang warrantless arrest na nangyari noon. So, the case went through the regular proceeding of preliminary investigation. The complaint was filed, and after the preliminary investigation, the Department of Justice found probable cause to press charges against 2 police officers, Police Officer Joven and Police Officer Villanueva. Unfortunately, when the warrant of arrest was issued by the Regional Trial Court of Iloilo, Branch 31, ay hindi sila mahanap. So, on our part, we will coordinate with because this case was filed way back October 2021, and this case was delegated to the OCP Iloilo. So we will coordinate, the DOJ will coordinate with OCP Iloilo for the issuance of alias warrant to exert efforts again to locate the whereabouts of these criminals, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. NBI, do we have any information? NBI, are you part of any investigation related to the killing of the victim, Del Britannico?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as narrated by Mr. Britannico, our Death Investigation Division handled the investigation of the case. Yes, Mr. Chairman, our Death Investigation Division handled the investigation of the case, and they filed a murder case against the 2 police officers and 2 John Does.
Mr. Chair, instead of getting into more details and not to consume most of the time of the Quadcom, I do believe that the right venue is the courts to give justice to my beloved friend, Delphine Britannico. I just appeal and implore if the chair will also give its 2 cents. And I implore the NBI and the Department of Justice to reopen the case and do whatever it takes, do the proper investigation, and to try to find the right people to give justice to the victim of Del.
Yes,
Justice delayed is justice denied, Your Honor. Alam ko po na hindi na natin mababalik ang buhay ng aking kaibigan na si Del Britannico. Ang akin lamang pong layunin sa pagdinig na ito ay para hindi na po sana matularan ang mga ganitong gawain sa pamamagitan ng pag-amyenda ng kasulukuyang mga batas at pagbabalangkas ng mga bago. Gaya po ng aking nasabi nung huling pagdinig, Mr. Chair, kasama po ako ninyo ng ating pamahalaan sa paglaban sa illegal na droga. Kaisa po ako ng gobyerno at ng kapulisan sa mabilis na pagsugpo nito. Kaya naman po, sa kasalukuyan ng ginagawa ng ating mga law enforcement, ay ang pagkundak ng isang test buy at kapag confirm ang target, magsasagawa ng buy-bust operations upang maaresto ang mga kriminal ng mabilis at hindi na kailangan ng warrant of arrest. Dahil sa kasalukuyang panuntunan, kapag ikaw ay caught in the act o yung sa Latin ay in flagrante delicto, ay common legal parlance na gumagawa ng krimen, right there and then pwede na pong hulihin at arestuhin, Mr. Chair. At kapag ikaw ay hindi nakikooperate at nilagay mo sa peligro ang buhay ng kapulisan, maaaring dumepensa ito at ikaw ay mapatay. Kaya lamang, ang ating iniimbestigahan ngayon ay ang pag-aabuso dito ng ilan. Na kung minsan, kahit walang unlawful aggression na requirement sa self-defense ay napapatay ang isang suspect, na dapat arestuhin lamang. Worse, ang biktima na si Del Britannico, na hindi naman target ng operasyon at isang innocent bystander. Wrong place at wrong time, Mr. Chair. Pero yung pagpatay na ganun, makikita mo na halang talaga ang bitukan ng mga taong gumawa nito. Bigla na lang binaril, sa kadahilan ng kumukuha lamang ng video. Mr. Chair, hindi naman po bago sa atin ang dangerous drugs ng 1972 na inamyendahan ng Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. At kung mapapansin natin, ginawang krimen ang planting of evidence na minsan ay ginagawa sa mga drug operations. Hindi lamang iyon. Ang gagawa nito ay mapaparusahan ng kamatayan under Section 29 of the said law, which states any person is found guilty of planting any dangerous drugs and or controlled precursor and essential chemical regardless of quantity or purity shall suffer the penalty of death. However, Mr. Chair, ngayon wala naman tayong death penalty sa ating bansa. Ang pinakamataas na parusa ay capital punishment. Itong probisyon ng batas na ito ay naglalayo na protektahan ang mga inosente sa pagsugpo ng droga. Layon ko po na makapagbalangkas tayo makapag-amenda ng batas na hindi na maulit katulad ng pag-aamenda ng batas natin noong 1972. Makagawa tayo po ng ilang batas, amenda o bagong batas na that would prevent and protect the innocent lives in our fight against illegal drugs, Mr. Chair. Again, justice delayed is justice denied. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nakatingin po ang ating Panginoon. Nakatingin po ang aking kaibigan na si Del Britannico ngayon. I hope justice will be served. And again, I implore NBI and DOJ, please help give justice to my brother and friend, Delphine Britannico. Maraming pong salamat, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Congressman Junicio. The next to interpolate is Congressman Lordan Suwan. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a few clarificatory questions for Mr. Britannico. How would you describe your brother, Del?
Mr. Chair, napakabait po. Halos wala pong kalaban yung kapatid ko.
Wala siyang kalaban?
Wala pong kalaban. Negosyante po siya. Pinili po niyang tumira sa Iloilo kasi tahimik po doon. Siya at saka yung pamilya niya po wanted to establish themselves.
And he would have been 41 if he were still alive?
Mr. Chair, he was born 1983. So he would have been 41.
Ka-age po kami sana. How about Mr. Alain Muller? Is it Muller or Muller?
Alain Muller, Mr. Chair.
Sino po siya?
Mr. Chair, hindi po namin siya kilala before this incident. Wala rin po kaming kilalang personal na Muller before this incident. But based on the reports, he was a target, an EJK target. And I think a kapatid po niya na isa pa ay napatay rin po the year before because of an EJK operation.
So, medyo sangkot sila sa drugs, allegedly.
Yun po yung napabalita.
And he was killed in broad daylight.
He was killed in broad daylight based on the video po about 12:06 p.m. Of January 19, about noon time on a Sunday.
And you also mentioned in your affidavit that he was a level 1 target with 50,000 reward for his killing.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this was based on the confession of Police Corporal Joseph Andrew Joven that was given several times.
Where did he confess?
Mr. Chair, he did make that confession to the DID, NBI DID, when he was taking in after he surrendered. And he also did at least 2 video confessions to our family, Mr. Chair, on 2 separate occasions.
He confessed to your family?
Yes, Mr. Chair, on at least on 2 separate occasions.
And you have videos of his confession?
We have videos at least more than an hour and a half on both instances, Mr. Chair.
And those video confessions were the basis of this affidavit that you executed?
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Were you able to talk with the family of Mr. Muller?
Yes, Mr. Chair. In fact, after the incident po, ang father ko po also represented the wife of Alain Muller in a case that was filed against po the suspect.
So your father helped them file the case against the suspects?
Opo, Mr. Chair. And the brother po, kanina lang po, ka-message ko rin po yung brother na isa ni ng isa pong victim na si Alain Muller, yung brother po niya si Kurt Muller.
What happened to the case?
That case, Mr. Chair, was dismissed by the DOJ on preliminary investigation.
So even during the preliminary investigation, it was already dismissed. So there's no case at all right now.
At the moment, Mr. Chair, I think that is what the status is.
Was there any follow-up investigations on the murder of Mr. Mueller?
None that we are aware of, Mr. Chair.
How about, were there cases filed regarding the murder of your brother?
Yes, Mr. Chair, as was mentioned by the NBI, there is one case po that was filed with the DOJ and then was brought to the RTC and 2 arrest warrants po were issued on that. So that is active po.
So the case is still active?
Yes po. And then the family po, after, that was before Joven surrendered po. And when Joven surrendered po and after po the video confession, the family po filed cases relative to that video confession. But these cases were dismissed by the DOJ.
So your family filed additional murder cases against the same people?
Yes, different. The NBI case, Mr. Chair, had Joven as charged, also a certain Jerry Villanueva, also a police officer, and 2 John Does, Mr. Chair. The family case, using the basis of the Joven confession, had Joven and 4 other personalities, Mr. Chair.
Who are these 4 other personalities?
Mr. Chair, as mentioned earlier, these were Ricardo Morante, Vernilio Escorial, Michael Dimihilo de Felipe, and Freddy Libuon. Identified as gunmen by Joven were Ricardo Morante and Vernilio Escorial. By the way, also, Mr. Chair, we also included the Iloilo City Police Director at the time, Martin Defensor, when we filed the cases because of what was shared by Police Corporal Andrew Joven.
But did I hear it correctly that this case was dismissed?
Yes, Mr. Chair, by the DOJ.
By the DOJ. What was the reason for the dismissal?
Mr. Chair, according to them, insufficient evidence to indict the officers, and then confession is inadmissible as evidence even against Joven himself. That was their basis, at least from their conclusion of that.
Okay. I just have a few more questions because I'm curious about how were you able to say that the adventure was parked near that gate?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We recovered video footages from the first shooting, Mr. Chair, all the way to the surrounding area, and we also had footages after that, Mr. Chair. And if you notice in the video, Mr. Chair, the adventure had tape on the side, reflectors. And we were able to retrieve those reflectors at that gate, Mr. Chair. Because as what was shared by suspect Joven, the reflectors were actually markers for the car, and also to somehow probably make sure that the operation goes unbothered or unhindered. But even before that, we were able to recover the tapes. At 12:18, 12:19 po, my brother was on the phone talking to his wife while he was parked po doon sa may area na yon. Tapos po doon po siya linapitan, tapos binaril po. Haba pong nakasakay siya sa motorsiklo po niya, naka-helmet, saka po hawak po niya yung telepono niya.
You mentioned in your affidavit that he was afraid that those suspicious-looking people were casing his house.
Opo, Mr. Chair, kasi at that time po, 2020, yung gate po na yun sarado. wala pa pong masyadong laman yung village. Yung bahay po nila nasa dulo po ng kalsada, sa kabilang dulo. So parang, Mr. Chair, my brother was really observant by nature. So parang may ano po niya, nakita rin po namin, lumabas po siya sa village, kasama po yung motorsiklo, tapos lumampas po siya doon sa may gate, nag-U-turn po siya. So ibig sabihin may binalikan po siya, may nakita po siya. Wala lang pong video doon sa mismong lugar. Pero doon
How did you know that he made a U-turn?
Kita po namin sa video, Mr. Chair, at the point that he made the U-turn.
So, I think you said in your affidavit that he was afraid for his family, right? And I would understand if you have a couple of kids and your wife, and then you see may mga suspicious looking na mga tao nandun malapit sa gate sa dulo ng street nyo, syempre, i-check mo talaga yon. So, parang yun ang nangyari sa kapatid mo na he was just looking after his family and then he was killed.
Opo, Mr. Chair, and he was actually on the phone with my sister-in-law.
When he was attacked, when he was shot?
Sinasabi po niya sa sister-in-law ko po na may mga suspicious na tao dito. And that is logged po by the phone records of both my brother and my sister-in-law.
And you're also certain that the same group that killed Mueller is the one who killed your brother?
We are certain of that, Mr. Chair. Number one, because of the vehicle, and also because of again the tracing of who rented that vehicle, which was traced to be Police Corporal Joseph Andrew Joven, Mr. Chair.
And did Joven say that hindi nila sinasadya na patayin yung kapatid mo?
Opo, Mr. Chair. Nataranta lang raw po sila kasi tinatanggal po nila yung mga sticker doon po sa gate. Tapos kala po nila, sinundan po sila. Tapos yun na po, nagpanik. Sakay po sila ulit lahat sa sasakyan. Tapos sinarangan na po nila yung kapatid ko, binaba. Binaril, may konting diskusyon raw po. Tapos binaril na lang po.
So they were afraid that they would be identified?
Yes, Mr. Chair. That appears to be the case.
So, Mr. Chair, it would appear that Mr. Del Britannico was just an innocent bystander. He was there trying to protect his family, being careful, being cautious. Tapos parang nasa wrong place at the wrong time lang talaga. Nakakaawa talaga yung ganun. And I can't imagine my younger brother being killed that way. It's so senseless. And I joined the call of Congressman Ernix Jonicio for the NBI to reopen the cases so that justice will be served. And I also agree with what Mr. Britannico said earlier when he said that the end does not justify the means. And we have seen that the current administration of President Bongbong Marcos was able to successfully lower the incidence of drugs and even wage a war on drugs without resorting to bloodshed. So I guess it's possible after all. And that's all, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
No further questions.
Thank you,
Mr.
Congresswoman
Chair.
Suwan.
Mr. Chair.
Before Congresswoman Luistro, clarification lang kay Mr. Britannico. Did Mr. Joven, the suspect, admitted to you, to the video that they received money?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
As what? Para saan yung perang yun?
Una po, Mr. Chair, para sa una pong pagtanggap ng pera was 100,000 po for a killing of a certain kagawad, Virgilio Coronado Soledad.
Okay, so every time there is somebody killed, merong kapalit na bayad yon. Is that what
Ang nabanggit niya lang po yung pangatlo po nilang pinatay na binigyan po sila ng 100,000.
Okay, sige.
Tapos ang binanggit niya rin po, Mr. Chair, was doon sa kay Mueller, ang reward money po was 50,000.
Okay, sige. Thank you, Mr. Britannico. We also have here Miss Erminia Muking Espino. Where is Miss Espino? Si Ma'am Muking. So, Ma'am, I'm glad that you are able to attend this committee hearing.
Yes,
Because-
good evening po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, we sent you invitations during the last two hearings that the Quad conducted, but you failed to attend. That's why I'm glad that you are here.
Because po of medical condition.
Also, did you undergo a medical procedure? No.
I had check-up, Mr. Chair, and I was diagnosed with pneumonia po.
Okay, sige. Tanong ko lang, Miss Mook, can I call you Booking?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That's your nickname.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Imo nang Dagnay. Dagnay ni mo na. Are you Bisay? Are you from
Bisaya, Mr. Chair.
Unsa man na kanang angga sa imo?
Angga.
Angga sa imo na. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So Mooking, saan ka nagtatrabaho?
At present, Mr. Chair, City Government of Davao, Mr. Chair.
City Government of Davao.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Congressman Akop.
may I inquire if the resource person has taken her oath?
Done already, Mr. Chair, Your Honor.
Thank you, Congressman Akop, for reminding us. So, ma'am, you're still connected with the Davao City Hall, LGU.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And previous to your employment now at the Davao City Hall, where were you connected?
Office of the President, Mr. Chair.
Sa Office of the President, former President.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and what is your position at the Office of the President?
Assistant Secretary, Mr. Chair, from 2016 to 2021 and 2022 to January to June of 2022, USEC, Mr. Chair.
USEC of what, ma'am?
OP, Mr. Chair.
As a USEC, all those years you were under the OP.
Yes, Mr. Chair, from September 2016 to June of 2022.
So, first ASEC, ang entry mo was ASEC?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, prior to your being employed at the Office of the President, saan ka connected?
City Government of Davao, Mr. Chair.
So you were already at the LGU sa City of Davao before you became ASEC and then eventually became USEC of the Office of the President.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so thank you. There was I cannot exactly remember what phrase or statement in the affidavit of Colonel Rina Garma wherein she mentioned your name as the one in charge of sending money. May I know to whom do you send this money?
I don't send any money, Mr.
So
Chair.
never.
Never, Mr. Chair.
Hindi lang, I don't have kasi a copy of the affidavit of Colonel Garma, but I will try to look for a copy of the said affidavit. But in the meantime, I'd like to recognize Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. Sorry, I had to cut you earlier. May I know the pleasure of the gentle lady from Batangas?
I have few interjections for Mr. Britannico to pursue the same line of question raised by the two gentlemen.
Okay,
Mr.
please
Chair.
proceed.
Mr. Britannico, can you please clarify? A certain Police Corporal Joseph Aldo Jovet made an admission. Saan po niya ginawa yung pag-amin na tinutukoy niyo?
Una po niyang binahagi ang pag-amin po niya, Mr. Chair, Ma'am Chair, sa NBI-DID po.
May we know who was the agent on case during that time?
One of the agents, Mr. Chair, was Attorney Zulaika Coniales po.
Attorney Zulaika Coniales.
Po, among other
Can you
agents.
please state the date when he did this admission?
That must have been June 6 of 2020, Mr. Chair.
Was that admission ever put into writing, Mr. Britannico?
Hindi po.
Chair.
I wonder why.
Yun rin po, Mr. Chair.
Where was the family present when that admission was given in front of the NBI agent?
We were in the vicinity, Mr. Chair, but not on that same room, Mr. Chair.
Was there no one who initiated to put this admission in writing during that time?
At that time po, Mr. Chair, hindi po.
All right.
At that time, Mr. Chair.
How about on the part of the NBI agent? Was it a custodial investigation, a question and answer that is happening where he did that admission?
I wouldn't be familiar, Mr. Chair, on how they conducted the investigation, Mr. Chair. But it was, I understand it was quite lengthy. It was at least a night of perhaps answering, engaging with him, Mr. Chair.
Would you know if Corporal Jovet during that time was being assisted by his own lawyer?
He had a lawyer, Mr. Chair.
May we know the name of that lawyer?
Attorney Gayos, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Regayos.
Attorney Gayos, Mr.
Gayos.
Chair. Yes, we did provide him that lawyer.
I wish to manifest, Mr. Chair, that if it was a custodial investigation that took place in the NBI, then I suppose that there is a record with the NBI where the admission was done by Corporal Jovet in the presence and while assisted by his own lawyer. And would you know also if you are familiar, the Miranda doctrine was explained to him?
I wouldn't know, Mr. Chair, of what took place when he was being asked about his knowledge of the case.
The reason, Mr. Chair, why I am raising these questions, I do not understand kung bakit mayroong nagko-confess na, umaamin na. Ano ba to, pinalaya pa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Ultimately, a night after or the day after he was released, one of the reasons given was that it was in conflict of a theory.
Arbitrary detention.
It was in conflict with findings of their NBI's own investigation.
How can it be in conflict if the person is actually admitting having killed not just one person, but actually, how many are they? 5.
Yes, that is a mystery also to us, Mr. Chair. At that time, when Joven, just to explain a little background, Mr. Chair, on the circumstances, Joven surrendered after a case was filed against him. The case had information.
This case is the case of your brother?
Yes.
When you said filed where? With the DOJ?
With the DOJ, Mr. Chair. There was a witness that was identified, a certain taxi driver.
Was it subsequent to or prior? The one you said he surrendered. Was it subsequent to or prior to the admission you were referring to earlier?
It was the case. I'm sorry, if you could repeat that question,
Alin
Mr.
po
Chair.
yung nauna? Yung sinasabi niyong admission before the NBI? Or yung surrender after the case was filed with the DOJ?
Sumunod na lang po yung surrender after po nakapag-file ng kaso.
I see. So, it appears that there were 2 opportunities already to take custody of the respondent at the very least.
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Can I raise some question with the DOJ? May we know who was the handling prosecutor of this case?
Mr. Chair, we will submit the name after the hearing, Your Honor.
Can you please enlighten us? Fiscal, should I say?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
My admission, and correct me if I'm wrong, that amounts to extrajudicial confession already because that happened during custodial investigation. And the respondent is being assisted by his own lawyer. What
Yes,
should be
Mr.
the
Chair.
process?
Mr. Chair, if I am correct, what happened is that sometime May 2020, the police officer Joven voluntarily surrendered and admitted what he did. And around June of the same year, it is the time when the complaint was filed. The complaint was for the crime of murder and theft against the two police officers, Police Officer Villanueva.
You were referring, sir, about which cases? The one filed in June.
Britannico case, Mr. Chair.
Britannico case. So, does this mean na nag-request ng preliminary investigation ng ating respondents?
Mr. Chair, it is a regularly filed case by the NBI as well as the father of the victim, Attorney Salvador Britannico and Karen Britannico, the spouse of the victim, against two police officers, Police Officer Villanueva and Joven, and two John Does, for the crime of murder and theft. And because the theory is that they carried out the killing and that the taking of the cell phone was just to hide the crime that they committed, that's why the crime that was charged is murder. The theft was dismissed. Later on, 2 years after, they filed another complaint for robbery with homicide against, I think, seven police officers.
Sir, let's go back to the extrajudicial confession. Would you confirm that what happened at the NBI during that custodial investigation is already an extrajudicial confession?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
From the point of view of the DOJ, of the National Prosecution Service, of the prosecutor, ano po ba dapat ang gagawin nyo given the fact na merong valid extrajudicial confession?
Based from the resolution, Mr. Chair,
Let's start from the date of the extrajudicial confession that the person is already at the office of the NBI. I wish to submit that with the valid extrajudicial confession, you will be able to establish outright the required amount of evidence that is probable cause. Am I correct?
Yes, Mr. Chair. That's why the case was filed sometime October 2021
Wait
for the
a
crime
second.
of murder.
When did the admission at the NBI happen? According to Mr. Britannico, it was June 6, 2020. Why did it have to take until October of 2020?
Mr. Chair, the second case was filed sometime 2022. The case that they filed was originally against 4 respondents only, Mr. Chair.
Please pardon me for interrupting. I wish to be enlightened. No? My extrajudicial confession.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Executed June 6, 2020. The person of interest, if not the respondent, is already at the premises of the NBI.
Mr. Chair, I think the NBI would be the best person to address that. Because what they filed is just against 4 respondents. And what the DOJ did was to file the case, the complaint that they filed. The DOJ
Would you
filed.
know, sir, the date when the NBI forwarded the case to DOJ?
I think around June 2020.
June 2020, Mr. Britannico?
Ma'am, just the sequence of events, Mr. Chair. The NBI first filed their case, which my father was also signatory.
Doon lang po tayo sa first case,
Yes,
sir.
yes. May 29 of 2020.
So the very day when your brother was killed,
May 29, 2020 po. So,
2020.
yes, so about
When did the incident happen?
January 19, 2020.
January 19.
Opo.
Alright.
So na-file po yung case ng May 29, 2020. On June 5 po, Joven surrenders po sa Iloilo. Tapos he was flown po to Manila And on June 6, that was when po he was he was in NBI TAF po. And that is when he made the confession po to the NBI at the time.
All right. Balikan ko po si DOJ. This is actually an inquiry that I wish you will impart to all of us. From the point of view of the fiscal, mayroon kang valid extrajudicial confession. You will agree with me if I would say that that is enough to establish probable cause, right?
Mr. Chair, yes, if that is the fact, Mr. Chair. Unfortunately, the extrajudicial confession was not signed, and based on the records, there was no allegation that the extrajudicial confession was made with the assistance of a counsel for the respondent, the one making the admission.
Do you confirm that, Mr. Britannico, the extrajudicial confession was not signed?
Hindi po pinirmahan, Madam Chair po. But it was made po with the NBI with the presence of a lawyer.